They are not yet freed from the bonds of injustice.
Time is unity.
My task is to teach the members of my class that injustice cannot be allowed to go unchallenged.
It will carry a message of peace and unity to the farthest reaches of the universe.
Biography of Viola Desmond. Full name, Viola Irene Desmond. Birth date, July 6, 1914. Birthplace, Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. Death date, February 7, 1965. Place of death, New York City, United States. Viola Desmond was a pioneering Canadian businesswoman and civil rights activist, whose courage and resilience became a symbol of the fight against racial segregation in Canada. She is often referred to as the Rosa Parks of Canada, though her landmark act of defiance predated Parks by nearly a decade. Raised in a middle-class mixed-race family, Viola aspired to be a beautician at a time when professional opportunities for Black women were severely limited. She trained in beauty culture in Montreal, Atlantic City, and New York, eventually opening her own beauty school, the Desmond School of Beauty Culture in Halifax. Through her school, she empowered and educated Black women in business and cosmetology, making her a trailblazer in entrepreneurship. On November 8, 1946, Viola was traveling through New Glasgow, Nova Scotia, when her car broke down. While waiting for repairs, she decided to see a movie at the Roseland Theatre. Unaware of the segregated seating policy, she sat in the whites-only section instead of the balcony designated for Black patrons. When she refused to move, she was forcibly removed, arrested, and fined under a dubious tax law. Viola's courageous stand sparked a legal battle that drew national attention to systemic racism in Canada. Though she lost her case, her actions were a catalyst for the eventual dismantling of racial segregation policies in the country. Decades later, Viola's contributions were formally recognized. In 2010, she was granted a posthumous pardon, the first in Canadian history. In 2018, she became the first Canadian woman to appear on the country's $10 bill, cementing her legacy as a civil rights icon. Key milestones in Viola Desmond's life. 1937, opened her own beauty salon in Halifax, Nova Scotia. 1946, arrested for defying segregation at the Roseland Theatre. 1954, racial segregation in Nova Scotia was legally ended. 2010, posthumously pardoned by the government of Nova Scotia. 2018, featured on Canada's $10 banknote. Bibliography of sources about Viola Desmond. Books. Viola Desmond's Canada, A History of Blacks and Racial Segregation in the Promised Land by Graham Reynolds. A comprehensive examination of Viola Desmond's life and the broader historical context of racial segregation in Canada. Sister to Courage, Stories from the World of Viola Desmond, Canada's Rosa Parks by Wander Robson. Written by Viola's younger sister, this book provides a personal and detailed account of her life and legacy. The story behind Viola Desmond on Canada's $10 bill, CBC News, explores the significance of her appearance on Canadian currency and her role in history. Viola Desmond, Canada's civil rights pioneer, The Canadian Encyclopedia, highlights her life and the impact of her activism. Documentaries. Long Road to Justice, The Viola Desmond Story, a short documentary that recounts her stand against segregation and its ripple effects. Journey to Justice, National Film Board of Canada, includes Viola Desmond's story as part of a broader narrative about Black Canadians' struggle for equality. Viola Desmond Biography, Nova Scotia Heritage, provides a detailed timeline and insights into her personal and professional life. Bank of Canada Viola Desmond on the $10 note. Official site detailing her commemoration on Canadian currency. If you're enjoying Movie Pulse and want to help us keep creating awesome content, consider supporting us on Ko-Fi. The link is in the description below.